Hello and welcome back to The Alternative. I actually have a really cool interview for you guys today. It's Tom Chiari, guitarist of the Hostage Com and label manager for the Run for Cover Records. I really like Run for Cover Records. They have a lot of great stuff on the label. So me and Tom talk about a lot of great releases they have coming up, some bands that are on the label, and what it's like to work at a label and how to get noticed by one if you might be in a band looking to get signed. Referring to HostageCom, we talk about HostageCom's brand new album coming out very soon called Please Remain Calm. I'm very excited for the album, and so is Tom, so it's looking like that's going to be a very great album, and I hope that you guys enjoy our little talk about it. Alright, I'm just going to start the interview off right now, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. Alright, I'm on the phone here with Tom from the HostageCom, and he's also the label manager for the record label Run for Cover Records. Tom, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Struggling to speak, but other than that, I'm doing okay. I'm going to start off with a few questions about the label. All right, this might be a silly question, but what exactly does a label manager do?
Well, in my case, it's Rubber Cover is a small label. It's just me, Jeff, the owner, and Taylor, who does mail order. So basically, me and Jeff just kind of do everything together. From getting records manufactured, from doing accounting, signing bands, keeping in touch with bands, taking care of getting stuff ready for press releases, just everything that you could think of on a day-to-day basis for the label. I do that along with Jeff.
Run for Cover right now has a lot of great artists on it. You guys got Man Overboard, HostageCom, obviously, Turnover, Fireworks. How does the label going about gathering these really good bands together? Is it a little bit of luck? Do you scout them out? Do the bands come to you?
A little bit of everything. Sometimes it's as simple as us getting a submission in email. We're getting an email from a friend just saying, hey, check out this band. Or a lot of times bands that are already on our label say, hey, here's a great band from my area that's really picking up steam and starting to do stuff, and they want to take their band to the next level. Check it out and, let me know what you think. Band City Sex that we just signed is a good example. They're from Michigan, and Fireworks is from Michigan, Citizen is from Michigan. Both those bands sent us the City Sex record. We're like, hey, you should check these guys out. And we did, and we loved it, and so we signed them.
I was going to ask, but you kind of answered this. What is something that an unsigned band can do to get noticed by a label from, Run for Cover?
I guess generally, it's a pretty simple answer. Get a good sounding recording, put it up on the internet, play shows, book shows locally, and go on tour. Make friends with other bands, and that's kind of the best way to do it. If you're getting your name out there, talking to other bands in the scene, playing with other bands in the scene, then eventually a label is going to hear your name and check this stuff out.
All right, yeah, that's actually pretty good advice. It sounds pretty easy, but it's not too easy. But I guess all you can do is just put your best foot out there and hope that it works out.
Yeah, and if you're making music that you believe in and you're working hard to get out and play shows and you're working hard on writing the best songs that you can, then it's going to pay off.
Recently, a lot of smaller record labels like Run for Cover are succeeding and growing while larger labels are struggling. Why do you think that's the case, and do you think that's something that's going to keep picking up?
I think Run for Cover is in a unique position right now. We're not too big of a label. We don't have too big of a staff or too big, but our bands are out there working hard and touring, and that's helping to sell records. So that allows us to continue to expand and put more back into the business and continue to grow. Bigger labels that have bigger staffs and big offices and have to press lots and lots of records, like way more copies than we would for a release, have a tougher bottom line to meet. So I think that's where they're running into trouble as CD sales and physical sales decline like that. Right now, I guess also the resurgence in vinyl sales has helped us a lot. We sell a ton of vinyl, especially directly through our web store, and that's just, it helps out a lot.
Yeah, it seems now that there's a lot more, a lot less record sales and a lot more internet downloading. Labels have found a lot of cool ways to make profits on music in like new and creative ways, and vinyl has definitely been one of them.
Yeah, I think people really gravitate towards, you know, cool packaging, cool artwork, stuff that really shows the band and really lets the band kind of connect with fans through that medium. I think people really gravitate towards that. It's something that they can't really get anywhere else, you know, and for one reason or another, you know, people enjoy that format, you know, more than CDs. I think the packaging, it's easier to make creative vinyl packaging, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's great. I'm glad it's making it come out. I think vinyl sounds better too.
Yeah, it seems like vinyl covers make a lot better display pieces than a CD. I see that the label has recently released a summer sampler. I haven't been able to listen to it yet, but I love summer samplers, and they seem to be a great way to get all the bands of a label out there. What kind of bands should we expect on the sampler?
I think basically it's every band on our label, and a lot of songs that are coming out from us in the coming months. It's just kind of a good snapshot of where the label's at now. And it was cool we were able to go out on Warped Tour as a label and sell and give out a ton of those CDs. So, you know, where somebody may have heard of Man Overboard or Title Fight, they'll pick up the CD and see their songs on there. But there's also 20 other tracks. And, you know, that's a great way for kids to get into new bands. So I think that was really cool.
Yeah, that seems to be a way that I find a lot of bands, because you come to pick up the sampler to check out tracks from bands that you do know, and then obviously there's going to be similar bands on there, and then you find out about them, so it seems to work out. I also saw that Transit will be reissuing their Stay Home EP for their record shows through Run for Cover. I really like that EP a lot. And how has Run for Cover managed to stay in touch with bands like Transit? They used to be on the label. Is that like a friendly relationship?
Yeah, we've maintained a great relationship with those guys. You know, Keep This to Yourself in 2010, and, you know, we put out Stay Home, I think that was 2008 or 9, that was well before I was working here. But, yeah, I mean, they're from Boston. We've just always been friends with them, and the community that we're all part of is really small, so we've been in touch with all the bands that have, you know, put out records on Run for Cover and then gone on or outgrown us, like, you know, Title Fight and Man Overboard. And, you know, hopefully we can continue to do so with those bands. So, yeah, the Transit project was really cool because we had only originally pressed the CD, and then Barrett Records had done the 12-inch originally, and that was out of press for a while. So we were able to just go back and kind of put that in production for them. So I'm glad it came together.
Yeah, and those two albums that you talked about are two of their greatest stuff. So definitely great to hear that it's coming back out. So what else is upcoming for Run for Cover Records?
We have a really busy fall going on right now. The Hostage Town record is coming out in a couple of weeks, and probably one of our biggest releases of the fall is Basement's last LP, Color Me in Kindness. And I mean, the record's just phenomenal, and it's really cool gatefold LP packaging, and yeah, that'll be coming out later in October. Alongside that, we have Citizen Young States EP. So that EP came out as a CD a year ago. We pressed that as a 7-inch, and we did a new CD that has 5 bonus tracks on it. Those are kind of new releases. We also have a double gatefold 7-inch from Were and Han, the two kind of shoegazy bands from the West Coast. So that's kind of a really cool project. And then we have a bunch of represses. We're repressing Tiger's Jaw Self-Titled on vinyl, Tiger's Jaw Balance and Composure Split, and we're pressing 2 older Tiger's Jaw releases, Belongs to the Dead, and then a Tour 7-inch that they put out a couple years ago. So we've been pretty busy over here. We have a couple other projects that I can't really talk about yet. They haven't been announced, but...
Yeah, man, you guys sound like you have a ton going on. This is kind of a personal question for you, but what made you want to get into the music industry? And
you know, I didn't really set out to do it. Hostage Town hooked up with Run for Cover in, I think, 2009, before our self-titled. And then, you know, I'd been in touch with Jeff as our record was going through production and coming out. And I just I gave him a lot of feedback at the time when our record came out. So I would just be in constant touch with Jeff and kind of just tell him what I thought about what was going on. And, eventually we became better and better friends. And he realized he needed to hire someone, and he thought I'd be a good fit. So I said, yeah, I kind of do the business side of Hostage anyway, so we'll give it a shot.
Yeah, it sounds like it's worked out great, and it sounds like you really enjoy it. So I mean,
I'm loving it, honestly. And it's really cool to be able to go on tour and be able to work on tour and kind of make my way doing that, and also come home and go to the office and hang out with my friends and put out records for my friends' bands. It's pretty awesome. I have no complaints.
When you're not doing this, obviously, like you said, you're a guitarist for the band The Hostage Com, who, like you said, has a brand new album coming out on October 9th called Please Remain Calm. I'm really excited for that LP because I was a big fan of your last self-titled album. Was the writing process for this new album different, or were there any different influences on the album?
The writing process was pretty similar. I think the approach taken was a little bit different. Chris, our singer, is the primary songwriter, but something that we really tried to do with this album was really get inside the songs and feel like the emotional impact of the songs. I think Chris said in another interview that Self-Titled was Hostage Town playing with our brains, then Please Remain Calm is Hostage Town playing with our hearts. And, I think that really embodies the approach to the record. We didn't want to just be playing the most technical stuff we could. We wanted to make songs that really emotionally connected with people and that people were really able to feel.
Yeah, it seems to always be a balance with every band. It's pretty cool that you guys are bouncing back and forth between that. There's 2 albums already streaming that are going to be on the new album, Love May Prevail and Broken Heartland. I really like these tracks a lot. Should we expect the rest of Please Remain Calm to have a similar sound to those 2 streaming tracks?
Yeah, I think, production-wise, the sound is very similar. We recorded the record with Jay Robbins. Working with him was a really different experience than anything we've ever had, and I think he really brought out a lot of raw energy. So I think and I hope that the tracks really reflect that. I think they sound really lively and kind of raw and organic. So I think that the rest of the songs have that, and hopefully that comes across.
Your previous self-titled album was very different from your guys' earlier recordings, and then this album sounds a little different than the self-titled. Is this like a result of the band growing and experimenting, or maybe just listening to some different stuff as the years go by?
I think it's a combination of all that stuff. We never really set out to write an album that was just completely different, just because. I mean, on self-titled, we wanted to make a statement and make an album. Well, I guess I'm contradicting myself. We wanted to make an album that was unlike anything else that was around. But the songs kind of come naturally. It's all a process, one song at a time, just kind of coming together. So, I think that it just kind of happened,
Yeah. Without even realizing it, things change in your life or your music influences, and then it works out that you produce a great album and it sounds a little different. You guys have been pretty active politically in the past. You did a show in my home state of New Jersey with H2O in support of same-sex marriage, and I see on your guys' website that you also have a T-shirt supporting the issue. Is that something as a band you guys feel is important, and how did your work with that cause begin?
Yeah, totally. It's not just a band. Really think that's an important issue. I think it's kind of the civil rights issue of our time right now. We wrote the song Ballads and Stones kind of about the issue, and we're always looking for ways to kind of further our involvement and make an impact. I don't think we really knew how much of an impact we could have until we paired up with Alternative Press a little while back when New York State was voting on whether or not to legalize same-sex marriage. And we gave away our album as a free download to anybody that would sign a petition that would be sent to the legislators that were on the fence about the issue. And night of the vote, it passed, and then the legislators had cited the thousands of emails that they got, and we had, together with Icky, sent 4,000 emails to those senators.
Wow.
So just those numbers kind of made us take a look and say, hey, we really had an impact here. What else could we do? And so the show at Stevens Institute in New Jersey was kind of an extension of that. And from there, we just kind of wanted to see, what else we could do to have an impact with this issue and any other issues. Right now, our record's up for pre-order, and $2 from every pre-order is being donated to Freedom to Marry, which is an organization that helps promote same-sex marriage legislation across the country. So it's something that we've been involved with and we want to stay involved with, and hopefully we can continue to find creative ways to do it.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm definitely on your side on this issue, but nobody really cares what I have to say. But those numbers are pretty impressive. I mean, 4,000 letters to a senator is not a small amount.
Yeah, and we had no idea what the reaction would be like, but it's clearly an issue that connects with a lot of people. I think with a lot of young people and a lot of people in our scene and our age, and it was great to feel like we could really have an impact there. And we couldn't have done it without every single person that sent in an email. So, like I said, I don't think it was all our doing. It just took kind of that one spark to get everybody motivated.
And some free music helped too, I'm sure. Well, that sounds really great. Well, moving on to some of the tours that you guys coming up. You guys are, when you're not busy with your label doing a million things, you got a million tours coming up. You'll be on tour in October with Into It Over It and Make Do Amend, who I just recently talked to. And that's Into It Over It's first tour as a full band. Are you guys excited for that tour, and is there any dates that you're looking forward to in particular?
Yeah, I can't wait for that whole tour. We grew up with Make Do Amend. We're both from Connecticut, and we're both kind of in Connecticut scene. And so they're some of our best friends, and it's just going to be great to be able to hang out with them every single day. Evan from Into It Over It's been a friend of all of ours for a long time. So it's going to be cool to really see him, bring his songs to life in a full band setting. Nobody's ever seen that before. So I think the whole tour will be awesome. I guess specifically, I'm really excited about the Connecticut show, since both us and Make Do Amend are from Connecticut, and our good friends in The World Is a Beautiful Place are also playing that show. So that should be a really cool hometown.
Wow, I wish I lived a little closer to Connecticut. I would definitely make the trip. It's like a loaded lineup. I see you guys will also be playing Fest 11, which is a concert, a music festival that I've always wanted to go to. It just sounds incredible. It's all the way down in Florida, so I've never been able to go. But are you guys excited to play the fest, and have you ever played before?
Yeah, we're incredibly excited to do it too. Fest 9, when we weren't on it, we played kind of a side show, and it was just incredible. You're just surrounded by a ton of other bands and a ton of friends, and everybody's just going and watching each other's bands and having a good time. So, to be able to be a part of it, it's going to be incredible. I can't wait. It was one of the most fun weekends that I've ever had at Fest 9. So, I have high hopes for this year too.
Yeah, it just sounds incredible just because there's so many venues and so many great bands in the scene, and not even like huge bands, but just all the bands that are putting out good music right now, and you could see them for pretty cheap and all over the city. So after that, you guys will be touring with Streetlight Manifesto in November and December. How did this tour come about, and is it going to be interesting, like touring with a ska band, or is that something you guys are used to?
I think that the tour is just going to be a bunch of people who are fans of good music. Streetlight is an incredibly talented band, an incredible live band, and that's why they've been around for so long. They write great songs and they put on a great show. So I think they draw a diverse crowd, and I think, if there's any crowd that we want to play in front of, it's people that are just eager to hear good music and new music and exciting music. So I think it's a great crowd to be in front of. Everybody in Hostage Comp, or almost everybody, has some ska roots, somewhere down the line back in our past. So everybody's pretty excited for the tour. I think it'll be great. We got a chance to watch them a couple times at Warped Tour, and they were just incredible. You know, they drew a huge crowd, and everybody was just really excited on it. So I mean, that's the type of band that you want to play with, and that's the type of band that you want to watch every night. So I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, Streetlight has definitely got to be considered like an all-time great within the scene.
Absolutely.
I have a few personal questions for you, just interesting things. What are some of your personal influences as a musician, like artists that you liked when you were getting into music?
Well, I've always been drawn to politically driven music, and I've always been drawn to, I guess, guitar riffs and kind of guitar rock as a guitar player. That's kind of obvious, but growing up, you know, I was really into like Fat Wreck style punk, especially bands like Anti-Flag and No Effects, you know, Pennywise, bands that had the political edge, but also wrote, you know, energetic songs with cool guitar stuff. So I guess now, one of my favorite records of all time is Television's Marquee Moon. That's just an incredible guitar record, and a record that has a really, really cool mood and vibe to it. Yeah, I guess that's kind of where I sit now. I mean, I don't know if this is weird, but I don't really have a favorite record. I just kind of have records that I go back to and cycle through, and there's different things that I love about different ones.
Yeah,
I don't know
definitely.
if that makes any sense.
No, it definitely does. I mean, I have a list of probably 10 favorite records, and depending on my mood or which one I've listened to the most recently, I might cycle through those between my favorites. So I definitely understand. So another question, how do you balance your time between the band and the label? I mean, both seem really, really busy right now, so it must be a hustle.
Yeah, very carefully. You know, especially now, my band is getting ready to put out a record, and my label is getting ready to put out, you know, 10 records. So this is one of the busiest periods of my life that I've ever had. You know, I guess professionally, if you can call it a profession. But yeah, I just kind of am going all the time and always thinking about what needs to be done and what I can do to kind of push my band forward and the label forward and all the labels bands. You know, thankfully, I've been able to handle everything, I think, just fine. And it's great to have people in my band that I can lean on to help get stuff done, and other people at the label, you know, Jeff and Taylor, to help out. And yeah, it's been a careful balancing act, but so far so good.
Just a few more questions. What was you might be a little biased working for a label, but what was your favorite album of this year?
Man, I haven't even begun to think about that yet.
Or recently?
I can tell you a band the band of Pity Sex that I brought up earlier, I'm really excited about working with. Their EP, Dark World, that came out earlier this year, is one of my favorite EPs of the year. As far as LPs go, I don't even know. I would have to sit down with like a list of 100 records and go through them very carefully to be able to tell you. I'm pretty stoked on the new Title Fight record, like everybody is. I think it's awesome. But yeah, I'm not even sure.
Yeah, I definitely like the new Title Fight record. But yeah, by the time the end of the year comes, like we're coming up on like the winter time, it seems like the albums that came out the previous January was like a lifetime ago. So it's so tough to just put it together and pick albums of the year. But I'll definitely check out.
I don't even bother. You know, I wait for everybody else to make their end of the year list. I look through and find all the records that I missed, and then I check them out. And it's like, you know, like a little Christmas present getting to discover all these records. You know?
Oh yeah. Yeah. All like the music publications and websites, they put out their top lists. And if I haven't listened to a record, you got to go check it out, obviously.
Totally.
You don't want to be behind.
Exactly.
Just a final question. Back to the band, HostageCom. What is in store for the future of HostageCom besides these tours that you guys planned and obviously the release of your new album?
I think we're just going to be on the road a lot, you know, pushing the album, playing the album. We've been playing on Selftitled songs live for over 2 years,
wow. Traveling the world, huh?
I'm trying to.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. All right, well, that's all the questions I have for you today. Thanks.
Cool, man. Thank you so much for having me. It was a great interview.
No problem. So once again, guys, that was Tom from the HostageCom and label manager of Run for Cover Records. As you can see, Run for Cover has a ton coming out, and you should check it out on their website and download or buy some of these releases and vinyls and t-shirts. They have a lot of cool stuff. HostageCom also has something very cool coming out, which is a brand new album called Please Remain Calm, and 2 singles from that album are streaming online right now, so you guys should check those out and see if you might like to buy the brand new HostageCom album. I think you should, because it sounds like it's going to be really good stuff. Once again, Tom, thanks for talking to me, and everyone should check out the page for HostageCom and Run for Cover Records. If you like this interview, you should like The Alternative on Facebook, follow us at Get Alternative on Twitter, or subscribe to our YouTube channel and make me really happy. And that's about it, guys. So if you like the interview, you should write in the comments, and if not, write in the comments too, because I read them all. And I hope you guys have a really great week, and we'll be hitting you with some new stuff real soon.